This is Renata Nicole of If It's Magic, where if it's magic, we want to write and talk about if it's magic. So go ahead and light your candles, light your incense, and sip on your special herbal tea blend. And if you feel so inclined, go ahead and set a spell while we get right about it. Greetings, everyone. It's Renata Nicole of If It's Magic. And in this discourse, I want to talk about growing through the darkness. What caused me to want to talk about this is it is currently December the 6th. And in the Northern Hemisphere, at this time, we are in a period of time where after the autumnal equinox, we have been losing sunlight with the passing of each day. So people in the Northern Hemisphere, as the days are getting darker over time, some of us don't handle the increasing darkness very well. Some of us do okay, but then there's others of us who, when the days progressively get darker, we have where we just kind of don't emotionally feel well as we go through a season of death and transformation. So in order to understand how to make it through this time of death and transformation, I suggest we consider something in nature that has the process of growing through the darkness down to a science. And that something is the mushroom. Now see, mushrooms grow from spores and they rely on the wind to disperse their spores in order for them to repopulate. However, sometimes their environment isn't conducive to producing enough wind for the rebirth process to take place. Now, when this happens, mushrooms do a unique thing. What they do is they create their own weather. That's right, you heard me correctly. They create their own weather. They don't wait for something outside of themselves to change. They don't wait for their external environment to change. They start the process of changing themselves because they want to thrive. They want to continue their legacy. They want to continue on, and they want to see themselves expand and grow outside of themselves. And so when that happens, and they get that urge to grow and to reproduce, and the winds are not there, the environment hasn't given them what they need, they use their innate ability to change the humidity and the temperature underneath them. And this allows them to create their own wind, which carries their spores to a higher, stronger wind. And that wind, in turn, spreads the spores around the environment, increasing the possibility for regrowth. So what do we have here? We have where the mushroom is teaching us that sometimes you have to create your own micro winds of change and then hand it over to the macro winds of change. So we have where the micro is turning things over to the macro. Because it didn't wait. It didn't wait. It knew that I'm going to have to go inside and I'm going to have to change some things around me. And then when I'm done, I'm going to hand it over to the external to finish the job. Now, that's very interesting what the mushrooms have shown us there. And let's go further into how do they do that. Researchers explain that they create this weather system by releasing water which results in the process of evaporation, making their air underneath them wetter, heavier, and cooler. Gravity then pulls this dense air down, producing a microwind, taking the spores with it. And as the air moves away from the mushroom, it warms up, allowing it to become more buoyant, spreading the spores, which leads to the growth of new mushrooms. So mushrooms are showing us that to continue on, we may have to let go of some things in the same way that they let go of the water with the goal of producing new life. I know sometimes we don't want to let go of stuff. We want to hold on to everything, but there are some things that have to be removed for new things to come. When they let go of that water, they're able to birth new mushrooms. So from the playbook of the mushrooms, we're learning some great things. But they have even more to teach us. And I'm going to tell you one of these other things that they teach us. Mushrooms teach us that they don't require light to grow. They don't necessarily need the light to grow. But while they're in the darkness, there is a variety of mushrooms that can emit light. So these are a unique glow-in-the-dark mushroom that is teaching us that darkness can most certainly birth light. And that if darkness overwhelms us, that we should be encouraged to emit the light within ourselves. So this fat-free, low-calorie, vitamin and antioxidant-packed fungi that fosters good brain health has shown us how we can better thrive through the darkness. For this reason, if you're not allergic, I highly encourage you to consider consuming edible mushrooms. For in the same way that they can cool down their environment, they have been used to aid with the cooling and calming down of anxiety by providing zinc, which supports your nervous system and, good nerve health. And it also helps people to increase their vitamin D levels so that they can survive the darkness of depression. As we enter the darker times of the year, vitamin D levels decrease because most people are getting a lot of their vitamin D from the sun. And if you are a darker hue, it is harder for the sun to penetrate in and give you your skin, giving you the vitamin D that you need. So the mushroom is an excellent way to get vitamin D. And that vitamin D, like I said, it helps with your mental health by assisting with reducing depression. Also, vitamin D promotes good bone health. So it's good for you if you have bone issues. That's something that you might want to talk with your health practitioner about, checking to see if your vitamin D levels are low. And if so, finding a remedy for it and seeing if adding mushrooms is a good thing to do for you as well. Additionally, higher levels of zinc support your immune system, providing you with protection. When we have a strong immune system, a healthy immune system, it is protecting us from ailments. And it aids with skin health, DNA synthesis, metabolism, nerve health, digestion, and protein production. So we've learned so much from the mushroom just by looking at a few things that it is showing us. So like I said, increase your zinc levels to boost your immune system, and also increase your vitamin D levels, promoting good mental health and decreasing depression. And also I think you've already guessed it. I'm out.